Welcome to the presentation on dynamics of machinery, unit number 4, balancing. So in the last class we have seen the content which are shown here in the red color, and now we are going to discuss the balancing in multi-cylinder inline engines. So you can see a simple multi-cylinder inline engine is as shown in figure. So here you will find out that there are 4 cylinders in this engine, and all these 4 cranks are mounted on the same shaft. So in this case, now the arrangement of the crank is made such that the firing will be occurring in a different cylinders at different times. So for that, the crank position of the cylinder number 1 is considered at an angle of theta. So this is cylinder number 1, it is angular position of this is theta. Now crank position of the second cylinder, this is second cylinder, and this its crank position is 180 plus theta. While this is third cylinder, so this is also having 180 plus theta angular position of that crank, and for the fourth cylinder again it is having theta. So in this case, this way the arrangement is made of the different cranks. So now we know that the unbalanced force due to reciprocating mass of each cylinder is going to act along the line of action of that particular or the cylinder. So the primary force is given by m omega square r cos of theta, where m is the mass of reciprocating part over there, omega is the speed with which this particular crank is rotating, okay, and r is the radius of that crank, and theta is the angular position of that particular crank. So definitely with respect to this angular position, this particular force is going to change. So it is varying cosine wise. So similarly, the secondary force is given by m omega square r cos of 2 theta by n. So where is the n is the obliquity ratio, that is nothing but the ratio of L by r. So this is the length of the connecting rod, and this is the radius of the crank. So that ratio is nothing but this n. Okay. So now we are expecting that these primary forces caused due to all these different 4 cylinders should be balanced. Okay, as well as the secondary forces should be balanced. Okay, that is expected, and definitely these different cylinders are having these different forces, like this force is there. Okay, now the force due to this will be there, so we are expecting that this should be balanced. Okay, and now we will observe here that there is a distance between these two forces, and because of this actually there is a couple will be acting over this particular shaft. Okay, now in this case if I consider this one is vertical force, this is downward force, so it is going to cause the couple, clockwise couple like this. So whatever the couples will be there because of these forces acting on the shaft, that should also be balanced. So unbalanced couples about the reference plane due to reciprocating mass is given by m omega square r cos theta multiplied by L. That means just you are multiplying this distance between these two cylinders. So if I consider centrally one reference plane like this, and there are 2 cylinders on the left side and 2 cylinders on the right side of it. So cylinder 1 will be at a distance of L1, cylinder 2 will be at a distance of L2, cylinder 3 will be at a distance of L3 from this, and cylinder 4 is at a distance of L4. So if I take the moment of all these forces, so there will be different L1, L2, L3 and L4, all these are to be added, and that addition should be equal to 0, so that it will be in balanced condition. Similarly, there will be centrifugal, secondary force will be also causing the couple, secondary couple. That secondary couple also we want that it should be balanced. So let us see now how whether it is getting balanced or not. So let us see now. First, suppose we have a cylinder like this. It is a 4-stroke 4-cylinder inline engine. So in case of 4-stroke 4-cylinder inline engine, we are having the crank position of the cylinder 1 over here, cylinder 2 exactly opposite of that, means 180 degree, then cylinder 3 again 180 degree, and cylinder 4 again initial, means 0 degree you can say. So here if you observe the forces, primary forces along this line on all these 4 cylinders, so you will find out that this 1 and 2 will get cancelled out, 3 and 4 will also get cancelled out, and therefore you will achieve the primary forces being balanced for this particular type of engine. Okay, so we can solve this problem by 2 ways. One is analytical method and another is a graphical method. So in case of analytical method, we are expecting that the primary forces must be balanced. That means the sum of forces must be equal to 0. And when you are drawing the force polygon, in case of graphical method, so primary force polygon should be closed. And if you are achieving this particular closing of the, it means you are achieving the primary force balance over there. So here in this case, it will be possible for this kind of engine. Now we are talking about the secondary forces, so that is also required to be balanced. So let us see now, secondary forces are acting here. All the secondary forces are acting in the same direction. Okay, so definitely secondary force balance cannot be achieved. So it is addition of all these forces. So secondary unbalance will always be there in this kind of engine. Then now if we talk about the primary couples, so we are expecting that it should be balanced, and now let us see whether it is really balanced or not. So if I consider force due to cylinder 1 and cylinder 2, so you will observe that it is going to cause an anti-clockwise couple, and this 3 and 4 is going to provide a clockwise couple. So because of this clockwise and anti-clockwise couple, these two couples will get balanced, and we can say that the primary couple will get balanced in this kind of engine. Similarly, there are these 4 secondary forces acting in the same direction, but due to these two, whatever the couple will be there, clockwise and anti-clockwise, that is getting balanced. Because of these two also, clockwise and anti-clockwise, that also get balanced. It means you will observe that the secondary couples will also get balanced. It means if you draw the secondary couple polygon, it becomes a closed polygon. Primary couple polygon will also become a closed polygon. Okay, and only thing is that the secondary forces will be unbalanced, because secondary polygon requirement is closed, but it will be open, it will not be closed. Secondary force polygon becomes open. So this is what is about the balancing of this particular 4-stroke 4-cylinder engine. Okay, now one more thing that we will observe here, that when the connecting rod is short and the speed is very high, then definitely we cannot neglect that secondary forces, because if this high speed is there, so it is omega square here, so definitely the magnitude of this secondary force will be very large, and therefore we have to do certain things to make the balancing of it. So we are using a simple method of primary and secondary crank. So for that, actually we have to express this secondary unbalanced force in terms of primary force. For that, what we will do is, we will write initially this secondary force mr omega square into cos of 2 theta by n, and let us multiply it by 4 and divide by 4. So when I multiply it by 4, so it is, I am writing 2 square, so 2 omega bracket square in the numerator side, and denominator side I will write this 4 into n. So mass will be keeping same, so my radius will get modified here, r by 4n. Okay, and omega is 2 omega and cos of 2 theta. So what difference that I will find between the primary force and secondary force is that mass will remain same, but radius will change, that is equal to r by 4n, okay, which is specified here, r by 4n radius, and 2 omega, so speed will be double of that, and theta is also double of that, 2 theta. And therefore now I can represent the primary crank and secondary crank. So on primary crank I will separately show the primary forces, and on the secondary crank, which is actually an imaginary crank, it is not there, but I am imagining that there is a secondary crank, and over this there will be secondary force will act. So in case of primary crank, the angular position of the crank is theta, it is having radius r, it is rotating with omega. While in case of secondary crank, the angle is 2 theta, it is rotating with 2 omega, and its radius is r by 4n. So this concept we are going to utilize while solving the numericals on balancing of these multi-cylinder engines. Now we will just talk about the balancing of 2-stroke 2-cylinder inline engine. So 2-stroke means the power stroke will be completed in 1 revolution. So whenever there is a power stroke, actually there is, that time actually there is the largest forces or highest forces are acting over the cylinder. So if I have considered here like this, that there is 2 cylinders or the 2 engines acting, okay, and if I consider the crank position of one cylinder as 0 and crank position of another cylinder as 180, so I will find out that whatever the primary force will be because of this particular cylinder, it is acting suppose in the upward direction. So similarly the primary force due to this will be acting in the downward direction, and we can see if you observe it from this side, so you can see the figure will look like this. So one is the upward force, another is the downward force, and therefore you will get the balancing of this particular primary force in case of this 2-cylinder two-stroke engine. So that is what is the thing is being specified over here. We can see the crank of cylinder number 1 and the crank of cylinder number 2, and primary forces due to this are acting in the opposite direction. This is towards right, this is towards left, so it is getting balanced. So here we can write it that the sum of primary forces will be equal to 0. Similarly, now if I try to draw the crank position for the secondary force, so you will find out that, so first cylinder crank is here only, it is having 0, so 2 theta is also 0, and second is, it was 180 here, theta was 180, so in that case, in this case it will be 2 theta, so 180 multiplied by 2, that is 360. So second mass will also come over here. Okay, it means both masses of primary and secondary will be coming on the same side. So you can see here the downward force is here, one primary secondary force of cylinder 1 and secondary force of cylinder 2, that is also acting downward. So there will be sum of these two. Okay, so this is what we have observed, that the primary cranks are placed such that the angle between them is 180 degree in this diagram, and the primary forces are completely balancing each other, so this will be completely balanced. But about the secondary force, so secondary forces are unbalanced and its magnitude is 2 times of m r by 4n in bracket 2 omega bracket square. So that is, this diagram will be giving you idea that this much will be the secondary unbalanced force produced by this. And now if we talk about the couples, so if you observe here primary force, so there are two forces like this, so what are the couple acting on this shaft? It will be a clockwise couple, and definitely it is not balanced. So primary unbalanced couple will be there in this, that is what is specified here, primary couples are unbalanced, and the secondary couples will get balanced because the forces are acting in the same direction. So coupled due to this, suppose it is clockwise and this is also, it is anti-clockwise. Okay, so that will get balanced, so this is getting balanced. Okay, this is what is the thing that will happen in case of two-stroke two-cylinder engine. Now if it is a 4-stroke two-cylinder inline engine, in that case, now we will see that 4-stroke means the power stroke will occur in 2 revolutions. Okay, so we are having this crank position of the cylinder 1 here and the crank position of the cylinder 2 here. It was in 1 revolution 1 power stroke is there, so we can keep these cranks on same side. But because of this, what will happen if you keep the arrangement like this, there will be a primary unbalanced force will be there, because this and this force acting in the same direction, so that will get added and therefore it is not balanced. Okay, but whatever the couple will be there due to these forces, so couple by this will be suppose in this way anti-clockwise, and this will be clockwise, so this couple will get balanced. Well, if you talk about the secondary force again, so this secondary forces directions will be like this. Okay, and therefore these two couples, these two particular forces will be added, and therefore there is an unbalance will be present over there. Okay, secondary unbalanced force will be there, and also the couples due to this will get balanced. So couples due to secondary force will get balanced and couples due to primary force will get balanced, but primary and secondary forces unbalance will be there in case of 4-stroke two-cylinder engine. Similarly, if we see 4-stroke two-cylinder boxer engine, in this case you will find out the two cylinders are mounted exactly opposite of each other. Okay, it is not in the same line. So in this case you will find out that the primary force of cylinder number 1 will be acting in this direction and cylinder number 2 will be acting in the other direction. So because of this, these two forces will get balanced, means primary forces will get balanced, and whatever the couple will be there because of these two forces now, because one force is acting suppose upward like this and another force is suppose acting in the downward direction like this. Okay, so couple due to this becomes an anti-clockwise couple, and that is unbalanced. So these forces will get balanced but couple will be unbalanced. Now if you talk about the secondary forces, so these are the secondary forces directions, so they are in the same direction, and therefore there is sum of these forces will be there, so that will be unbalanced. Secondary unbalanced forces will be there. Okay, but coupled due to that will get balanced. So this is what we will observe in case of 4-stroke two-cylinder boxer engine. Similarly, there can be 6-cylinder inline engine also. This is a 6-cylinder inline engine. So you can see that this is the cylinder number 1, cylinder 2, cylinder 3, 4, 5 and 6, like this. There are 5 cylinders are there in line mounted over there, and it is a 4-stroke. So in this case, if I have to find out the angle between the cranks, so since one revolution means 360 degree, So this is 360 degree multiplied by 2. So because power stroke will occur in once in 2 revolution. Okay, and number of cylinders are 6. So this way I can find out the crank position, and this crank position is equal to around 120. So we are going to arrange these cranks at an angle of 120. Okay, so if you arrange the cylinders cranks like this, so you will get the primary force by cylinder number 1 like this. Okay, primary force due to cylinder number 2 like this, and primary force due to cylinder number 3 like this. Okay, and similarly for the another 3 will be there. So if you see these 3 cranks, so you will find out that if you draw the force polygon due to these 3 forces, so you will find out that there will be a closed triangle will occur, and therefore you will find out that the primary forces will get balanced in this kind of engine. At the same time, whatever the couple will be acting, because of this all the different forces acting on this 6 cylinders, so primary couple will also get balanced by this. Okay, at the same time, if you talk about the secondary forces acting on this, so secondary forces will be also at an angle of 2 theta. So accordingly the crank positions for the secondary forces, this is for the cylinder number 1, this is for cylinder number 2, okay, this is for cylinder number 3. So like this they will be also at an angle of 120 around, and therefore if you draw the close polygon of that particular secondary forces, that is also being balanced. So here you will observe that the primary forces and secondary forces, as well as primary couples and secondary couples, all these things will get balanced in case of this 6 cylinder 4 stroke inline engine. Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss a few numericals in the next class on how we can make the balancing of these inline engines. So thank you very much.